Welcome to the Book Dialogue Studio. We are so glad that you joined us today. I'm Sarah.
And I am Rebecca. I am also delighted to share with you that we are in a garden because Sarah has a great idea that we should read poetry today. So that means a couple of things for me.
All right, what does it mean for you?
I have to take off my glasses. Do you have to take off your glasses?
I have to take off my glasses too. You're going to see the true us without glasses.
I am so glad that you enjoy poetry because a friend of mine said that she met with her friends online on Zoom weekly to read poetry together, and that it was a energetic session, but it was more of a time to reflect and to be in a community of like-minded people who enjoy poetic words. So I thought of you, Sarah, because we love poetic words.
We do. And it's interesting because we are big fans of reading and writing in any form. But poetry has a very unique way of engaging directly with the soul. The words that are used by a poet evoke such emotion. I often am caught crying reading poetry. I have a great poem to share today, and I will try not to cry during it. Is that okay?
It is wonderful. And I've often wondered how poets choose their words. Do they have a thesaurus? Is it thesaurus?
Thesaurus?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Or how do they just pick the exact word and phase, or is that phrase, that comes together? Because for some reason, whatever they're saying speaks to our soul and resonates. I don't understand the way they do that. It's almost like a miracle. They seem to find the words that I require to hear. So Sarah, what are you going to read today?
Well, can I just pick up on what you said
I
there for a minute?
I would love that.
Because I think that oftentimes people may feel that a few lines of poetry can be written in such a very brief, short period of time. And I really believe the poet process is almost like a catharsis of the soul. They have to ruminate on the words and they pour over them. And what we see in its final form is probably something that has been weeks in the formation. And so when we read it, it is the sum total of a thought and a process that has been steeped in emotion and fear or anxiety or joy, the deepest of emotions that a human can feel. And so when we read poetry, we are getting the benefit of seeing into the soul of another.
What I would like to see is the paper and pen and the outcome. Can you imagine seeing them write it and then cross out the words, choose another one? You're right, it is a process. And what we are experiencing today when we read it is almost, as you said, cathartic, because we have bridged the barriers of time and space, location, to read these words. And my poem is quite short compared to Sarah's. So I admire Sarah for doing this because the more you read a poem, the more likely it is to have an emotional output. So do you want to go first, Sarah?
Well, I'm happy to go first. And if it gets a little poignant, that's all right. I'll make it through to the end. It's a wonderful piece of work, and it's done by Robert William Service. And it really speaks to profound truth that is found in the little things. How in the vastness of space, we can be searching for meaning that can actually be found in the little things around us. But it's through human curiosity that, and our humility, that we find those truths. So it's a grain of sand by Robert William Service. I'm going to take my glasses off. If starry space no limit knows, and sun succeeds to sun, there is no reason to suppose our earth the only one. Mid countless constellations cast, 1,000,000 worlds may be, with each a god to bless or blast and steer to destiny. Just think, 1,000,000 gods or so to guide each vital stream, with overall to boss the show a deity supreme. Such magnitudes oppress my mind, from cosmic space it swings, so ultimately glad to find relief in little things. For look, within my hollow hand, while round the earth careens,
I hold a single grain of sand and wonder what it means. Ah, if I had the eyes to see and brain to understand, I think life's mystery might be solved in this grain of sand. Ooh, let's do the last two lines.
I think life's mystery might be solved in this grain of sand.
Ooh, this. I said the. What a difference this and thus.
Exactly.
is.
You know, it's interesting because we can talk about how extraordinary life is and how the vastness of space is something to be explored, but we forget that it's the little things.
Yeah.
It's in the common, everyday things that we face in our life in which we really find truth, profound truth. I almost made it through.
Yes, you did very well.
I almost made it through.
And you did so well.
I'm glad you were able to kind of save me because it's such an emotional thing for me to read poetry.
And that is the part of poetry. If you read it out loud or you read it to yourself, it is a meditative experience. My poem is shorter, but just as moving. It is by Sarah Teasdale. And I know that's a favorite poet
Yes, it
of
is.
yours, mine as well. And it's called April Song. And since we are in April, I thought this was very appropriate. So it is time to take off my glasses and read April Song by Sarah Teasdale. And if you're here and I need you, you can...
I'll pipe up.
Okay. April Song. Willow, in your April gown, delicate and gleaming, do you mind in years gone by all my dreaming? Spring was like a call to me that I could not answer. I was chained to loneliness, I, the dancer. Willow, twinkling in the sun, still your leaves and hear me. I can answer spring at last. Love is near me. I can answer spring at last. Love is near me. This poem reminds me of my first step into the woods to recite poetry to the trees because I was too afraid to recite poetry to others or record myself because you see, poetry needs a stronger voice, a better voice, a gentler voice, somebody other than me. Hey, that sounds someone other than me. But I think that we need to take that step and step out bravely. And I want you to go out to the forest and read to the trees. They answer in return. I have heard them.
I agree with you. In fact, I think we might need to go and do a little forest bathing this afternoon.
Oh, wouldn't
Does that
be-
sound lovely?
It is a great idea.
And we can bring our poetry books with us.
Well, Sarah brought her poetry book. I left mine at home and I was with the telephone. But you know what? Poetry, whether it's in this form or on a piece of paper or on a phone, it's for us.
It resonates within our hearts.
So until next time we meet,
Keep reading.
and join us on the book live. Whoops. You said.
And join us on the Book Dialogue for another exciting adventure in reading and writing.
And join us in, I'm going to say it, the Book Dialogue Studio. In the garden.
In the garden. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.